Imagine a main battle tank whose turret is completely unmanned, with not a single crew member inside, yet it can fire accurately while on the move, with precision comparable to the Leclerc. Meanwhile, inside the hull, 3 crew members sit under full protection, controlling every aspect of the vehicle through digital displays and data links. This is what KNDS unveiled on the opening day of Eurosotri 2026, and it is what left many military observers momentarily speechless. A concept that is not merely a new tank, but a signal that the era of the manned turret is approaching its twilight. What made this moment feel different from a typical defense industry showcase was the broader context. For decades, the world of main battle tanks has evolved at a slow and conservative pace. Major technological leaps occurred only once every generation, and each new generation typically required 1 to 2 decades to reach maturity. However, the war in Ukraine has forced Europe's defense industry to accelerate its calculations. Low-cost drones capable of disabling tanks worth millions of dollars, increasingly affordable and sophisticated sensors, and the urgent need for vehicles that can adapt without being redesigned from scratch have all converged into a single driving force behind the creation of CAPINT. At that critical juncture, KNDS, as the only company inheriting the technical legacy of both the Leclerc and the Leopard, found itself in the strongest possible position to respond to this challenge. The story of CAPINT began with a structural challenge facing the French army. Its fleet of approximately 200 Leclerc tanks, modernized to the XLR standard, will eventually reach retirement. Meanwhile, the main ground combat system, the ambitious Franco-German program intended to become the next-generation replacement, still has a long development road ahead and is realistically not expected to enter service until sometime in the 2030 or later. Between those two milestones lies the risk of a capability gap in France's heavy armored forces. CAPINT, short for Capacité Intermédiaire, was conceived specifically to bridge that gap. What makes this approach particularly compelling is not merely the concept itself, but the way KNDS has chosen to execute it. Instead of developing an entirely new vehicle from scratch, with all the associated risks of soaring costs and extended development timelines, the company opted for a pragmatic shortcut by combining 2 already mature components from opposite sides of the Rhine. The chassis is derived from the Leopard 2A8, produced by KNDS Deutschland, currently one of Europe's most proven heavy armored platforms. The turret is the Ascalon, developed by KNDS France and subjected to an extensive series of live-fire trials since its debut in 2021. This Franco-German integration is more than just a symbol of industrial cooperation. It is a practical strategy to reduce technical risk while accelerating the path toward the first production vehicles, which are targeted to enter service in the 2030s. In reality, CAPINT is not a sudden technological leap. It is the natural evolution of the EMBT and EMBT ADT-140 demonstrator programs that KNDS has been testing over the past several years. The difference is that CAPINT has a far more concrete objective, addressing the French Army's real force structure requirements, rather than simply demonstrating technology on the exhibition floor. There is also a political and industrial dimension to CAPINT that cannot be overlooked. Since its inception, the MGCS program has been marked by prolonged debates between France and Germany over workshare, ownership of key technologies, and the ideal direction of the overall design. Such tensions are common in large multinational defense projects, but the consequence has been repeated schedule delays. In this context, CAPINT serves a dual purpose. It functions both as a capability bridge and as an industrial safeguard, ensuring that the expertise required to design and manufacture main battle tanks does not disappear on either side of the border while MGCS negotiations continue. In other words, CAPINT keeps production lines, supply chains, and engineering expertise active and relevant, ensuring that when MGCS is finally ready for full-scale production, its industrial foundation will not have to be rebuilt from scratch. The decision to use a derivative of the Leopard 2A8 chassis was not made without strong technical justification. Compared to the original Leclerc architecture, The Leopard hull offers greater internal volume, higher power generation capacity, superior cooling performance, and more room for future weight growth, critical factors as modern combat vehicles are increasingly required to carry additional sensors, active protection systems, and advanced electronic equipment. The integrated power pack produces 1,500 horsepower, enabling the vehicle to reach a top road speed of 65 kilometers per hour, while delivering an operational range exceeding 450 kilometers. These figures may not appear revolutionary compared to other contemporary Western main battle tanks, but that is precisely the point. KNDS is not gambling on experimental mobility. Instead, it relies on an automotive platform that has already proven its reliability through years of operational service. Even more noteworthy is the vehicle's integrated high and low voltage intelligent energy management system, a forward-looking solution designed to meet the steadily increasing electrical demands of future active protection systems, drone operations, and interconnected battlefield networks. What the most fundamental change, however, lies in the crew arrangement. All three CAPINT crew members, the commander, gunner, and driver, are now seated entirely within the hull, completely separated from the turret. This represents a major departure from the Leclerc's design philosophy, which, despite employing an autoloader, still placed part of its crew inside the turret. By relocating every crew member to the most heavily protected part of the vehicle, KNDS is effectively rewriting the tank's survival equation. Rather than focusing solely on preventing armor penetration at all costs, the design prioritizes ensuring that even if the vehicle is disabled, its crew has a significantly greater chance of surviving. This configuration also introduces several noteworthy ergonomic and operational advantages. With all three crew members seated side by side inside the hull, instead of being divided between the hull and the turret, internal coordination becomes considerably faster. The commander can view the same displays as the gunner in real time, allowing tactical decisions to be shared instantly without the communication delays normally caused by physical separation. On the other hand, this approach places far greater demands on the reliability of the vehicle's electronics and data links. Every interaction with the turret now depends entirely on cameras, sensors, and remote control computers. Unlike conventional crewed tanks, there is no longer a manual mode in which crew members can rely on direct visual observation through the turret. This is KNDS's greatest gamble, entrusting crew survivability not to physical proximity, but to the maturity and reliability of its advanced Vetronics architecture. If the chassis represents a pragmatic foundation, then the Ascalon turret is the truly revolutionary heart of CAPINT. And this is where the story becomes even more compelling. Ascalon is not simply another unmanned turret. It has been designed as a scalable weapon system, family capable of evolving from today's standard NATO 120mm caliber to enhanced performance levels and even larger calibers in the future, all without requiring a complete redesign of the turret structure. The development of Ascalon has been unusually methodical by modern defense industry standards. The concept was first unveiled to the public in 2021. A year later, its first live-fire demonstration successfully validated the design. Terminal ballistic testing conducted in 2023 further confirmed performance that was claimed to surpass previous generations. It was not until 2024 that the world saw the complete demonstrator equipped with the actual ADT-140 unmanned turret. And by the following year, full integration of the turret onto the Leopard 2 chassis had been completed. This carefully sequenced development timeline is significant because it demonstrates that the system showcased at Eurosori 2026 is not a hastily assembled concept vehicle, but the product of 5 years of consistent technical refinement. The baseline CAPINT configuration is equipped with a 120mm L55 smoothbore cannon, comparable to the gun used on the latest Leopard 2A8 and the majority of contemporary NATO main battle tanks. However, the system's true advantage lies within the turret architecture itself. It has been engineered to accommodate the future 140mm L48 Ascalon variant without requiring replacement of the entire turret structure. This capability is becoming increasingly relevant as enemy armor continues to evolve, and defense analysts increasingly question the long-term effectiveness of 120mm ammunition against future threats. In other words, Ascalon seeks to break the costly cycle that has long plagued the tank industry, redesigning an entirely new vehicle. Every time operational requirements demand a larger gun, ammunition is handled by an autoloader with a capacity of 22 rounds, integrated directly into the turret structure, and completely isolated from the crew compartment in the hull. As a result, should the ammunition compartment be penetrated, the risk to crew survival is significantly reduced. One of the most striking features of CAPINT is not its main gun, but its secondary armament, the inclusion of the ARX-30 remote weapon station, specifically designed to counter unmanned aerial threats, says a great deal about how the battlefield has evolved. Drones are no longer just reconnaissance tools. They have become a direct threat to the survival of armored vehicles, a hard lesson learned from the fighting in Ukraine. The ARX-30 is armed with the 30M781 automatic cannon, which fires standard NATO 30 × 113mm ammunition. It carries 150 rounds ready to fire, and is paired with a coaxial 12.7mm machine gun, with an additional 300 rounds. The cannon has a rate of fire of 225 rounds per minute, a muzzle velocity exceeding 800 meters per second, and an effective range of up to 500 meters against drones and 2,200 meters against ground targets. These engagement distances are deliberately optimized to fall within the operating envelope of most reconnaissance and attack drones seen on today's battlefields. The system also supports a wide variety of ammunition, including SAPI, HEI, TPT, and airburst rounds with proximity fuses that significantly increase the probability of destroying small drones without requiring a direct hit. Remarkably, the entire weapon package weighs only between 350 and 500 kilograms, depending on configuration, while incorporating a daylight camera, a cooled thermal imager, automatic target tracking, an eye-safe laser rangefinder, 2-axis stabilization, and optional radar integration. If there is one feature that truly sets CAPINT apart from previous generations of tanks, it is the way it sees the battlefield. The next-generation sighting systems for both the commander and gunner are designed to support hunter-killer operations, allowing target acquisition and engagement to occur almost simultaneously. Full 360-degree situational awareness is available across the hull and turret, eliminating the blind spots that have long been one of the classic vulnerabilities of tanks against close-range attacks. Laser warning receivers, missile warning systems, and acoustic detectors capable of pinpointing the source of incoming threats further enhance this comprehensive situational awareness package. Even more revolutionary is the way unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned ground vehicles are no longer treated as external support assets, but are fully integrated into CAPINT combat architecture. Reconnaissance drones can observe areas hidden behind terrain obstacles, identify targets, provide target designation, and support indirect engagements without relying solely on the vehicle's onboard line-of-sight optics. As a result, the vehicle's sensor reach and engagement capability extend far beyond what the crew could ever observe directly. CAPINT is no longer simply a tank capable of firing at long range. It becomes a sensor node that expands the battlefield awareness of the entire force operating around it. This shift reflects a much deeper change in the philosophy of what it means to see on the modern battlefield. For decades, a tank's combat effectiveness depended largely on how far and how clearly its crew's optics could detect a target, a hard physical limitation. By making drones an integral extension of the vehicle's vision, rather than an accessory borrowed from another unit, CAPINT effectively breaks free from the constraints of line of sight. Targets concealed behind hills, inside villages, or beneath forest cover can still be detected and engaged, provided the accompanying drones can penetrate those blind zones. This transforms the tank from little more than a long-range shooter with limited vision into part of a sensor network whose reach is far more flexible than that of previous generations. CAPINT protection package is built around 4 complementary layers: passive armor, reactive protection, active protection systems, and soft kill countermeasures. What distinguishes this approach from earlier generations is how these systems are distributed. Rather than concentrating active protection components in a single area, they are spread across both the hull and turret, providing more balanced coverage against threats approaching from multiple directions. Hemispherical soft-kill protection further enhances survivability by disrupting guided threats before they can strike the vehicle. Particular emphasis has also been placed on defending against top attack threats, which have become one of the most significant vulnerabilities exploited by modern anti-tank weapons, targeting the relatively thin roof armor of armored vehicles. The most fundamental philosophical shift, however, lies in the unmanned turret itself. By physically separating the crew compartment from the weapon system and ammunition handling mechanisms, CAPINT essentially acknowledges that while the vehicle may be disabled, its crew does not have to become casualties. This way of thinking reflects a broader trend across the global armored vehicle industry, rather than a design choice unique to KNDS. As the cost of training and retaining skilled tank crews continues to rise, while battlefield threats become increasingly unpredictable, protecting the crew has become just as important, and in some respects even more important, than preserving the vehicle itself. A damaged tank can be repaired or replaced. An experienced crew lost in combat cannot. This philosophy that the vehicle may be sacrificed, but the crew must survive. So which aspect of CAPINT do you think is the most impressive? That's all for today's episode, and thanks for watching.